This visualization reveals several fascinating patterns in how gender and diet choices impact our environmental footprint. Looking at the dendrograms and color patterns, we can see that diet has a stronger influence than gender on environmental impacts. The most striking observation is that meat 100-gram diets create dramatically higher environmental impacts across all metrics, appearing as bright yellow bands for both genders. However, there are subtle gender differences. Male meat eaters typically show slightly higher impacts than females with the same diet. An interesting pattern emerges in the clustering. Notice how vegan and vegetarian diets cluster together first by diet type and then by gender. This suggests that for plant-based diets, the ecological footprint is primarily determined by what you eat rather than gender-based differences in consumption. The heat map reveals clear outliers. Meat 100-gram diets create environmental impacts that are more than 2 standard deviations above average for most metrics, particularly in water scarcity and biodiversity impact. This multivariate approach gives us unique insights impossible from simpler visualizations. We can see that some environmental metrics cluster together, like GHG emissions and CH4 emissions, indicating related ecological processes. Finally, the visualization allows direct comparison across all environmental categories simultaneously, revealing that switching from high meat to plant-based diets dramatically reduces impacts across all environmental dimensions, not just carbon footprint. By visualizing my unique observation of greenhouse gas emissions across different diet groups, we can see fascinating age-related patterns that differ between men and women. For females consuming high meat diets of 100 grams per day, we observe a clear progression where emissions steadily increase with age. Notice how the brightest yellow and orange colors appear in the oldest age groups, particularly those 60 to 69 and 70 plus. This suggests that as women age, their dietary choices within the same meat-heavy category result in progressively higher greenhouse gas emissions. In males, however, we see a distinctly different pattern that forms more of a U-shape. The youngest age group, 20 to 29, and the oldest age groups, 70 plus, show notably higher emissions, represented by the brighter yellow coloration. Meanwhile, middle-aged males between 30 and 60 show somewhat lower emissions despite consuming the same high meat diet.